Welcome back, everyone, to Lock In. Here we got 1 down, 2 to go. And up next, we got football is taking on RRQ. And joining me on the desk, we, of course, have my partner in crime, Mimi, as always. But one of my favorite humans on the damn planet, it's Balla T-Dubs. What's up, baby girl? How you doing?
What's up, bro? No, pretty good, pretty good. That was a fun game. I was really expecting Vitality to look good. But most surprising of all, I think Global Esports had a good showing. So more unknown teams, I think, coming up, and I'm really excited to watch them.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be an exciting season.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I'm just
every Pacific team that we've seen thus far, I think, has performed at least slightly better than I expected. So I'm excited to see another one debut here.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome now. But first, though, let's go ahead and take a look at FUT Esports, a Turkish team that, of course, is looking to rebound from a difficult preseason as well for the squad here in Balla. This is a team that they've had success, they've had ups and downs. There's a lot of potential here.
Yeah, last year they won the VRL league, the regional leagues for all of EMEA, and that's a great success for them. But then in the offseason, you mentioned it, it's been a red carpet for them. It's been like 7 losses in a row.
Yeah.
And sure, in the offseason, you're trying to experiment a little bit. You're trying to figure out how you're going to approach the new partnership system for them. And it hasn't been going that great, but it's a new beginning, I think, here at Lock In.
Yeah, but this does feel like the next step for this team, right? If you ignore the offseason, it's been a constant upswing from playing well in Turkish VRL, winning that, heading to the VRL finals, and taking home that event. I think they impressed a lot of people who were underestimating this squad. They had some good ideas that they showed, solid coordination, and most of their players were playing fantastically individually. But I agree with you. There was quite a fall off in the offseason. Now I think heading into this event, the question is, what edition of this footballist team do we see?
Yeah, and there hasn't been too many movements here on the roster for footballers since they did take down Vitality in that finals, which is what we were just watching moments ago. And that was also a Vitality that wasn't just the one we just saw. It has 3 new players completely. So I'm really looking forward to see if they've actually evolved past anything that we saw in that VRL and how they're actually going to be using what they learned in the offseason and carrying it forward.
Yeah, and I think that's important because compared to a lot of the other teams we've seen, this is a squad that the core has been together for over a year at this point. Some of the players have been on the roster for 2 years. It's just that one change. The consistency, the mental, the coordination, it should all be there.
It's funny that that's the team that actually has some of the longest cores in the tournament.
It's kind of wild.
Yeah,
it's kind of wild, especially coming from VRL. But here's the interesting thing. You know, whenever we talk about Turkish players, there's always a phrase that's thrown around, Balla.
Yeah,
the Turkish jet. And this time around, we're talking about another Turkish jet, the Turkish jet. You got yourself Kiwi, who's going to be taking the stage here. And Mimi, I'm kind of pumped to see what this guy could do because, of course, we know when Jet has a W key and they live in Turkey, they just go, baby.
It feels like we've had a non-ending stream of Turkish and Korean jets thus far this tournament, but Kiwi is one of those guys you got to look out for. He actually wasn't playing with them for some of those off-season events where they were struggling, but when they were popping off in VRL, it was this guy driving it home on Jet.
Yeah, absolutely. And he flexes as well to a number of other roles too, like the Neon 2. So I'm definitely looking forward to see what he can do in a tournament of this caliber and against a team that is certainly still unknown quantity, even though, like, we watched Boom Esports and Elmi Moore as well in the LCQ last year. It's kind of more known than an EU team that only played in the VRL for the most part. So it's higher level competition for sure and more pressure on the stage.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Indeed, there definitely will be. But here's the thing. Let's go ahead and actually hear from Mr. Fallen as well as Maj about their 2023 outlook and what it means to play for Turkey during this very difficult time.
Ben Mr. Fallen, FUT Esports takımında RC'lim. Takım olarak yaklaşık 1 yıldır birlikte oynuyoruz. Benim gelmemle birlikte aslında takım tam oturdu. 1 yılın meyvesini umarım bu sene yiyeceğiz. Takımımızın duelisti Kiwi, kendisi bütün maçlarda bütün enerjiyi, coşkuyu veren kişi kendisi aslında. Krax aslında takımın gizli bir silahı ama bütün işi kendi yükleniyor. Aslında takımın kendisi bir supporter'ı. Bu yüzden kendisi takımın en önemli rollerinden birini yükleniyor şu an. Atakaptan takımın en yeni üyesi. Kendisi şu an flex rolde oynuyor. En cana yakınımız herhalde Ata. Bu konuda hiçbir şüphe yok. Kiwi'de de en yakın arkadaş. Moj takımın sentineli, takımın abisi, arkayı kollayan ve bütün herkese sakin olmasını emreden tek kişi takımdaki.
Ben Buğra, Moş, Kiraz. FUT Esports'ta 2 yıldır oynuyorum. Sentinel rolünde oynuyorum. Nereden geldiğimizi, ileri kat edişimizi görmek bayağı heyecan verici oldu. Şu an ise partner bir takımız. Gayet iyi ilerliyoruz. Burada da kendimizi göstermek için elimizden geleni yapacağız.
Şu anki amacımız önümüzdeki turnuvalara iyi hazırlanmak, bir vezileyi iyi geçinmek. Çünkü bu Berlin'in bir ön ayağı. Bir vezile ne kadar iyi geçerse bu sene sonu bizim o kadar iyi gider. Özellikle ülkemizin şu son zamanlardaki durumundan dolayı şu sahnede oynamak özellikle bu durumdayken bizim için biraz zor ama elimizden geldiğince Türk halkını en azından bir nebze olsun şenlendirmek tek amacımız bu sahnede. Elimizden gelenin en iyisini yapmaya çalışacağız.
Türkiye'de Valorant kitlesi çok büyük. Bu dönemde Türkiye'yi temsil ediyor olmak gurur verici. Bir aydır Brezilya için hazırlanıyoruz. RRQ maçında bu emeklerin karşılığını alacağız. Bunun için de hazırız. RRQ hazır olun, biz geliyoruz.
RRQ.
Obviously, a lot of pressure on this team. And by the way, for those of you watching at home, feel free to check out the Valorant YouTube channel where all those videos are available as well with subtitles there too. But of course, you know, I think when it comes down to it, there is obviously that added pressure for these players, especially given the events that have happened globally.
Yeah, it's a very difficult time. And I think that for the Turkish teams competing at this event, it means even more. The more you can do, if you can show that moment of light and pop off here, it kind of adds an extra reward to that, to see that happiness.
For sure. Very, very well said. And well, let's go ahead and move on, though, to their opponents on the other side of the field. They're going to be facing off against RRQ, which, you know, has a very familiar story here at Lock-In, right? A successful core mixed in with new faces. What you expect to see when the season launches, Bala. Something a little fresh here. RRQ, though, I feel like has been the talk of the town for many reasons coming into this event.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. Some good, some bad. I think the mix of players that they put together from the Indonesian side has definitely spurred some excitement from that region. And then the Filipino players, they're kind of carryovers from this team in their challengers runs in the past couple of times as well. We're wondering what can we expect from them. But for Flipsider, for Tabado, these are guys we saw play in last year's Champions, and they had some good things to take away from that in that game against Optic.
Sure.
I mean, Tabado still holds the kill record for any global VCT tournament, so that's still pretty exciting.
Yeah, they had their moments, but I think now it's going to be about putting the pieces together. Because for Tabado, he's coming into this roster that, like you said, was already pre-standing. He's taking up a lot of the leadership roles, similar to how he did on Boom. And I think that's the biggest question here. How can they come together? Because for most of these players, this will be their first time competing where they're speaking English. Before, both these kind of halves of this team were competing either on full Indonesian rosters or full Filipino rosters. So this is a big change, which I think is going to be quite difficult for them to get used to.
Yeah, and I also, I mean, just looking at the highlights from Tabado's game here, just the fact that they're able to pull an overtime map against Optic is enough, right? That speaks for itself.
Yeah.
And when we see all the Pacific teams that are competing at this event and overplaying their expectations from the Western audience, I think for most of us, we underestimated them completely. It gives me the hope that I'm going to see it again, because you already have that upstart from those two players that have played on the stage like this.
Are you saying NA fans doubt international competition?
Not just NA
never
fans, not just NA fans, NA casters, EU casters.
I don't like
everybody be underestimated.
Papi, I don't like the way you're talking to me right now, okay? Okay? All right, well, look, here we do have a player, though, to highlight, and one of the guys that, you know, I think is coming into this with a fair amount of hype, Mimi. It's going to be Elmimor, who is a fresh face for myself. I haven't really got a chance to see him play, but I'm excited to see what he does on the stage.
Yeah, the thing is, though, Elmimor has a lot of respect at home in the APAC scene. People have been talking about this guy as a big up-and-comer for quite a while, and now he gets his chance to debut on the international stage. The streets have been talking. Apparently, at one time, he got offered to join PaperX, turned that down, came and played this team as well. I've also heard from the streets, apparently this guy is as good as Forsaken. He's living up to the expectations.
How often are you on the streets, Mimi?
I'm talking to a lot of them. Avenues, roads, streets, all of the above. And I've got some information that has my expectations very high.
Yeah.
No, not courts. They don't give good information. I learned the hard way.
Fair enough.
Stay out of the courts. Good. I think for Elmimor and as well for the other Indonesian players on this team, it's interesting because they came from the two best Indonesian teams, right? Boom qualified for Champions, and then Onyx G, which is the team that Elmimor was playing for after purportedly not signing with PaperX, is the team that lost to them in that finals. And he was so good. So to see that mesh and go together, and now they're joining this Rex region team is really, really, really exciting.
Yeah, I am looking forward to it, and I want to get to know a little bit more about this squad. So ahead of Lock, and we actually sat down with Flipsider and Tabottle for a closer look at the team. Let's go ahead and check it out.
Hi, my name is Saibani Rahmat. My in-game name is Flipsider. My role in the team is IGL, and then I play for Rex Regum Keon, RRQ.
Hi guys, my name is Tabottle. I play for team Rex Regum Keon, and I play controller for the team.
First, I think I'm gonna start with the Indo boys. Tabottle is my old teammate. He quiet guy, I think, and then he plays smoker in the team. And then the second one is Albimor. He's like literally the most quiet person in the team. And then his role is initiator. And then the third one is EJ. He's the hyperactive in the team.
EJ is the clown. He's like making silly jokes and stupid things.
And then the fourth one is Eman.
Eman is like the cool guy in our team. He's quiet and I don't know, he's just cool.
And then the last one is 2G. He's quiet also, he's quite introvert, and then he plays smoker. Last year at Champion, I think we learned a lot from the previous tournament.
It was my first big international LAN, right? And then I dropped 38 on my first LAN, that's why it boosts my confidence. And fun fact, I make a tattoo about it. This is my agent I use against Optic. It's the Viper, and I had 30 kills against Optic. This is the number 38. I had good first LAN, and I think my second LAN, I hope it's gonna be better.
I think my goals should be able to qualify for Master and also Champion. I hope my team can do it. I think we can put so much damage, just watch out maybe.
All right, well, something I thought was awesome was seeing the tattoo on the 38 kills. But like, honestly, it's like, that's what
cool
this
stuff.
means to these players,
Yeah.
you know? Like, having experienced that, being able to pull off an incredible feat such as that is awesome, Bala.
Yeah, it's so awesome. I mean, just to watch not only what they perform on the stage, but just how they are overall is really, really cool.
Yeah, it is really cool to see. But this matchup is going to be an interesting one. It is Football's kind of first time debuting on the international stage. They've been on this upward swing, and now they're facing a team that we've seen some of their pieces before, but don't really have full expectations for. This match could really go either direction.
Yeah, and those are the types of matches that you want to see. You don't want to go into something and be like, oh, this is going to be just a easy clap for Team A, easy clap for Team B. No. You want to see a good competitive matchup, and I think that's exactly what we're going to get right here. So let's go ahead and bring out our two teams. We have FUT Esports and RRQ. Before we begin, we wanted to pay our respects to all those impacted by Turkey as well as Syria and the earthquake with a moment of silence. As events unfold globally, we are, of course, saddened, and our hearts go out to everyone in Syria as well as Turkey who have been impacted by this. And we, of course, hope for nothing but the best and provide our love and support for everyone around the world. Thank you so much. And thank you to RRQ as well for taking the time to be able to sit back and reflect on this moment alongside their brethren from Turkey. Thank you so much once again. That being, you know, obviously a thing that weighs on these players, right? It's something that, you know, and talking to a lot of these players, whether it be, you know, from BBL, for example, chatting with our dear friend Vlad, there was obviously a lot of pressure on these players, but also for them, I think it's an opportunity to make their countrymen proud, regardless of the result, because they're here right now, putting it all out there on the stage. And ultimately, that is all, you know, that we can hope for.
Yeah, and obviously continue to support as well, because it's an ongoing situation. So it is on the minds. But now they got to play this match, and yeah, it's resting on them. But here we go, single elimination tournament.
That's right,
and it's all here.
You know, both teams, and I think FUT Esports would want it no other way. They would want RRQ to play them hard, go at them, do everything that they can to pick up this win, because we all know that that is exactly what FUT Esports are going to do against RRQ here today, Mimi.
If anything, it means even more for them right now to go out there, play their best, show what they have been preparing, and try and win this game, try and stay in it. Of course, RRQ doing exactly the same.
All right, well, as both players get into their huddles and they get ready to go, we are going to dive into our Prime Gaming Agent Select as soon as we are ready. Oh, excuse me, our map vetoes as soon as we are ready to go here. And yeah, you know, Paul, I'm genuinely curious to see what we're going to get here from FUT. What have they really worked on in the offseason to kind of give them a little bit of an advantage here against RRQ?
Yeah, it's interesting because I was actually seeing a lot of the maps that are gone now from the pool in there. But let's see, I've always thought Ascent is kind of a map that they like to rely on, and we have Lotus starting out for RRQ. We've already seen so many of the Pacific teams being comfortable playing this map. We just saw GE play it, and yeah, picking it right off the bat. No floating, nothing, just going right at them.
I think all these teams that are picking Lotus early, it is really a test of your opponent's off-season preparation. It's from your scrims. You have faith that the idea that you've implemented on that map is one that, even if it's not the optimal one, is one that can catch them by surprise enough to win that match. FUT will head to Pearl as the second map in the pool there. That's going to be another interesting one for them, another map that we've seen quite a lot of thus far this tournament.
Yeah, and I'm really interested on what kind of comp they're going to bring out on Pearl as well, given the flexibility that Kiwi has gone to, and we're having
reverse of map one.
This is nice. I like
the reverse of map one. We started off with Split, then we had Pearl, then we had Lotus. Now we just flip it on its head, and we're going right back around over here, Mimi. But do you think this is going to go to 3?
I think it's very possible. I think these teams are quite closely matched, but where a lot of this is going to come down to is what are the answers to this map on Lotus? We just saw 2 different compositions come out. One focused on the early gambits with the Raze, the Breach.
Yeah.
One going for the Jet answer as well. There's a Reyna hover from RRQ. I mean, there's still comps that we probably haven't even seen yet.
Okay, well, let's see. Reyna hover would blow my mind. Okay, well, we have Prime Gaming Agent Select here. Let's see what RRQ likes to do here.
I think let him cook. I think Reyna has potential on the map. I think the flashes are really good here. They have the Neon to take early fights, and that's what they're going for.
This is awesome. Oh my goodness. Reyna Neon on this map is not something I thought I would ever see. And double Neon too, which is kind of a rare pick so far. This is going crazy. You have the Sage, the Paper X-esque thing that's going on for Footballists, and paired with the Neon, that could be quite good.
2 brand new comps on the brand new map. We're going to get to see both these teams' answers. This is going to be exciting.
Oh boy, I love it, and I hope you guys are all strapped in for a wild ride. Let's go ahead and send it over to the hottest casting team in Brazil, literally, because Seth is sweating. It's Pansy and Achilleos.
It's warm-up here, GB. It's an exciting game. You know, you get a little moving.
He's one to talk as well.
Yeah,
about
to be
sweating.
fair, get him a solo. Get it real close up and see how he's doing end of the day. Anyway, let's focus on the matchup at hand because I think I liked what Mimi said about this, at least map select-wise, that Lotus is quite indicative of that off-season prep. How well you're ready for this. You're coming in with some very unique compositions. I'm going to leave you to that Reyna choice because that's got to be at the forefront of your mind here.
It really is. I mean, Emin bringing this one out, it's the first time we've seen Reyna. This now means that we have seen every single agent in the pool having been played here. We'll see how they pilot this, but as Bala was touching on as well, Neon's on either side. These people going for that race instead, but right off the rip, here they come.
Yeah, there's going to be walls galore, but already, good start for RRQ. Going to deny Kiwi any space, and he's one of the explosive players. If he gets that hot hand early, really starts feeling out the game, super deadly. Want to see how this Reyna works, so that is so at the tip of the list for me in this point. Now, as it stands though, RRQ comfortably taken towards site. There is a little bit of resistance, but it's been dealt with somewhat handedly. Good trade sites theirs. Flag planted, and as is the spike.
Reyna's on the board, now has that higher HP, given the Devour. Shadow's still going to be taken down. Maj looking around here at the drop, managing to find an opening kill. Gets Tevital in the head as well.
Nice.
And suddenly it's Emin. They 1v2, he finds the first.
It's one more, and it's all his, but time creeping forces the swing, and it's good. Footballers somehow turn this around. That early fight looked perfect coming out from RRQ. They had everything they wanted.
A fantastic shutdown on Kiwi to kick things off, but a fantastic turn at the end as Helicopter just manages to find that last kill. Felt like Emin had that one in his grasp, but it gets stolen away. That's the first round out. Let's see if FUT can hold on to this next one, or if it gets snatched away from him, much like we saw for Global Esports in the previous set. But a great retake and a great way to start off the series.
And a sigh of relief for FUT as well. Just getting comfortable on the stage. Yes, we have seen them break out occasionally into some more international events, but they certainly do not have comfort on a stage like this. There's certainly a little bit more pressure to it. We have seen them have issues in the past with that sort of thing, is finding consistency throughout series, not getting put off kilter on those early maps. So a good start for them could stabilize here well, but RRQ certainly not to be slept on by this early start.
Cam heard and destroyed. More just looking for those headshots. Nano swarms in response in case he swung out a little bit wider. Continue to try to hover around that A side. Meanwhile, pressure being applied now onto C. Wall going to be broken down after shocked out. Here's Mr. Fallen, finds one, but Emin swings around the corner, gets him with the Sheriff.
No trade, the slow, allowing that spacing to sit favorably, at least for now, towards FUT, and the rotations have been brought in. 3 players now posted towards that C site. Yes, they have left Kiwi over towards A just because of the presence earlier from Elmi Moore, but as it stands, they can re-explore the map. See if Krax gets anything off that. Certainly does. So information, obviously the door noted as well, so it's not too subtle at this point. Still have that utility in place. Finally removed at about the 40-second marker. They could potentially try and pull another pick here. Let's see what they can find. Does anyone get over aggressive? Does anyone get caught out?
Just barely been able to see Maj there either way. With the Vandal in hand. Take a shot to the chest, but wins out in the fight. Now it's just the 2 last players standing. Flipshot and Tepital, the veterans, for the side of RRQ, to try to get this eco round across the board for them. The plant will come in, but Kiwi swings the corner. They find the eliminations, and that is going to be a 2-0 start for FUT.
I have to say as well, FUT not getting overzealous there, not feeding too readily, not getting too ahead of themselves. Aaron being incredibly cautious. Yes, that was that initial trade towards the C site, but no pressure on them yet. I like that. I like seeing composure in this team. When I look at Footballists, again, this is, because we've seen a fair amount of them in the EMEA region, I want to see discipline coming into effect. I want to see good spacing, good trading. All those fundamentals, I want to see them hold throughout this series. So far, composure kept, not too threatening in the second round. We didn't see the, Spectres or Stingers or anything beyond a couple of Sheriffs. So as it stands, RRQ still looking like they're working the map, getting the feel of it and the lay of the land. I still want to see what that Reyna does.
I mean, so far, he's been doing quite a bit. Most right now for the team with that 3-2. Now with rifles in hand, RRQ, this is where they need to start building some momentum. Looks like it might be another fast hit out the gate. As they go rushing forward, Flash does connect. Perfectly
like,
blind as we just have these cross lanes.
It's like noughts and crosses over there, but there is one player ahead and EJ gets isolated. There's no trade. They're desperate for it. DeBottle swings, but Football is putting bodies towards this. They want that fight towards A-Long.
I mean, they just completely doused the ground with that slow field from the Sage. Just no way for DeBottle to just get himself out of there. He manages to find the one kill. Let's see what MN and Flipshider can do to try to at least put a little bit more damage down onto the side of Futbolist. Have themselves crept up all the way to A stairs. If he overswings and gets pinched, that's just going to be the spike stranded.
Yeah, Krax needs to be careful though as well. If he goes down, there's a deep hold towards CT, could be potential. Oman doing exactly as required, as prescribed. Clear the site, ensure no one's around here. Holding for about 45 seconds. And this is what I want to see from Futbolist though. No overextension, no over push here on your own, no untradeable kills. RRQ, what do you do with this now? You've been given a little bit of freedom. Spike is going down, so the time will be in their side.
I have a little bit of time, but one of the biggest things they need to do is get MN this kill. So you get the Devour off, you top back up. They're going to fault line, he's going to go for the swing. He's got them both lined up, but he just can't quite find the eliminations.
Yeah, spacing decent enough there for Futbolist. It's going to ask a lot of it. Oh, no way. The paranoia. Zero vision, zero chance. Futbolist again. They relinquish that A control. They fall back a little deeper, hold CT. You saw Cracks down there. They took the double swing towards stairs. They were fully equipped for what was going to be coming back their way. This is great so far. Converting the bonus here. Walking out with rifles galore. They got everything they wanted.
Yeah, I mean, just that defensive setup, shutting down those pushes over towards Rubble on the A side have been looking really good so far. See how that continues, as it seems like that's widely just going to be Kiwi's playing ground, just constantly hovering around that side. But RRQ are now swinging their sights over towards C, perhaps. See if they want to up the tempo, because they are going in. 4 Stingers, half armor on everybody, just a Sheriff there for Elmimore.
You've got to say that there was a rock'em sock'em fight over towards A. There was a lot of utility behind it, a lot of presence. This could be a quick response, maybe test that C site if that's what they think is a potential vulnerability. As it stands, they're going to make it work with far less. They need a quick kill to make this actually count. The wall's going to at least temper the pace for a second, but the smokes are there. They want to utilize this.
Goes down for a brief moment, tries to slide in. Oh, it's just going to be a stray shot through the smoke. Oh, that's disgusting from Atacupton. Takes them down. Spike still, however, going to be planted for RRQ. See how they try to defend this now.
The retakes have been solid though from Futbolist, but this time trying to get over-aggressive, overextend towards CT, and they get the fight they want. But the trade's still so good from Futbolist.
Get the triple stack. Templeton will be able to take another one down with him. 3 members left standing. As Foot will be able to go ahead and counteract the Stinger buy, but cash decent, so Rifle's going to be coming through for RRQ, but they need to get something on the board here soon. Don't want to let this run away from you, especially on the attack half.
You're absolutely right. I've got to say, though, staying alive with 3 vast majority of these rounds, they've been keeping so many standing. They've been upgrading the rifles. The economy is so well situated. Crack's already on 7.2. You've got 5.8 towards the Sage out here. You've got the Res on board. You've got the Lock down there. They've got a lot going their way, and it's these retakes, again, I am just enamored with. So well composed, poised, not overextending, which is something we've question with some Turkish squads. They get very aggressive, hyper aggressive, and when you have a player that can pop off, sometimes it looks really good, right?
Yeah.
But right now the composure is sitting really nicely, dealing with the site takes coming out from RRQ that have been pretty deadly. They have been posturing towards taking some of these rounds.
They absolutely have been. Still need to see a bit more involvement though. EJ Flipshider at the moment sitting there killless. Still 1 orb away, so maybe the game plan, as they have this timeout rolling, is going to be to try to get Flipshider either over to something, an orb, set him up for some kind of elimination, get that Rolling Thunder online, and use that so that they can break into the site.
Honestly, give me a nice lurk. Give me something like that, because again, you have been getting the spike down. You have been doing really well in that regard.
Yeah.
You've been getting into those post plants. Give me something on the back line. Be disruptive. See what you can achieve in this. Again, we have been seeing that late positioning coming out from the rotations, though. They're not completely vulnerable to it, but I'd love to see a little bit of pressure to be disruptive towards it.
I mean, you're mentioning those lurks. Tebatal, he is the king of it on this team. I mean, he's the reason why you saw them be able to take that breeze away from Optic. He was such a thorn on their side, constantly hanging back when he was there with Boom Esports. If they can get into a site relatively cleanly, get that spike down, and Tebatal is allowed to lurk back, catch people off guard, he can do an immense amount of damage here to the side of Football. So we'll just have to wait and see if they can pull it off. So we exit the timeout. Let's see what they've got cooked up for us. Yeah, so far, it's just that Omen TP that they have.
Flipsider is 1 away, so that could be something to see if you can build towards this time around. Early smoke gets negated by EJ, so that's going to be space taken towards C, and a little bit of presence noted. That's, if anything, maybe going to cause some of these rotations to come into effect, sit deeper towards the sites. I don't mind Futbolists going through a little bit of the motions here, being responsive in kind, but I want to see if RRQ have come up with a plan to try and punish this.
They have to know that it's Flipshider, the one who manages to get that orb. Should fully expect that he's got the Rolling Thunder, and if he hadn't gotten the orb, well, he's got the Rolling Thunder now.
Feels like the first pick without a trade that we've had in a while. This is the perfect start for RRQ to potentially, I guess, oppose the narrative that we've seen so far.
And without Mr. Fallen, all that obfuscation, those smokes, able to really slow up these attacks onto the sites, that all goes away. So RRQ should have a site just wrapped up in a bow for them, served up on a silver platter. Their sights right now are set to A.
Want to see if Kiwi's tempted to stick around, or if, yeah, backing away again, sitting a little bit deeper to the top side of site.
Actually going to go
through
through Lake.
Yeah, this could be quite nice. Again, pressuring towards that B site. This could be good, especially with the ult now in effect. Should hold this down well. Does give space for the rest to come in, so we are back up to 5 standing now for Futbolist.
The lockdown is in. It's just around the corner. They would love to be able to try to take it out, but it's just way too risky, so they all back away as time ticks down. Lurk around the back, and it's Flipshider. Watching Kiwi eliminated. Cracks taken down. Rolling Thunder now going to be used defensively here for the post plant. Limit, while he does get caught, he still manages to find a kill, and they will clean it up. RQ now on the board.
Love that. Pulled them around the map. It was so hard to pin them down. That early contact towards C. Yeah, they got that free pick, obviously, for RRQ through the smoke. You'll take it any day of the week you get it.
For sure.
Yes, the risk came up, but by that point, they've already tested towards A. They were showing a little bit of presence there, pulling these rotations out of position, and then hitting that B site so well. They had to respect the lockdown, yes, absolutely, but they were ready to come back into it too. The ult coming through just as required. So again, lovely time to stamp their authority onto the game, maybe hit the brakes on Futbolists getting too much momentum beside them. But we noted the economy earlier, it was healthy. We're seeing the operator coming out now for Futbolists.
Yeah, on Kiwi as well. See if he can get anything done. For now, it's just going to be backing away widely, surrendering the C site. Let's see where he decides to creep back up. Smoke is there, 3 people getting ready to push in. It's going to be Lear off the rip. He just continues to hold the angle, utilizing that pillar, making sure that he doesn't have that line of sight and doesn't get blinded.
All the smokes being invested so far from Futbolists. VALORANT just about getting one back on now. Looking for that execute towards that B side. Let's see what the hold's looking like though. Moj is here, and you can see the utility is in place, but this is all being tested around the minute mark. This is fine. They still have time for a pump towards another side. And they're pulling players here.
Yeah, it looks perfectly intentional. Just put that pressure on B, burn out all of that Killjoy utility, so if they have to do a last-second adjustment, they can. They don't have to worry about it. And now they're just shoving Kiwi off these angles. Great relay bullet out from EJ. Just denying him line of sight, but as that paranoia comes across, Maj is going to find Flipshider.
Yeah, and that's the spike now left somewhat unattended to. Spam comes in. They're looking to try and offset the timing here, playing back in ahead of this spike still down. The perfect flash. Great work from Cracks. Swings in on, and now just one left standing in a 1v3. 20 seconds. This would need miracles to make happen.
It would be a monstrous clutch if he could pull it off. 67 HP and Op staring at you from Waterfall. The odds are definitely stacked against him, and now he's only got 12 seconds. Pushes up, will find one. The Op shot whiffs. He needs to either take the fight or go for the plant. Doesn't have it. Tries to swing out, and of all things, it's a classic that finishes it. Kiwi just turns the tide right back into their favor.
Yeah, that pendulum swings right back through, doesn't it? They should be able to still get some sort of purchase for RRQ. I want to see what they go for. There will be some missing elements here, but this time super responsive. I love that little counter hit almost towards the side here. The pop flash through the smoke, just perfect, and Cracks making the most of it. Again, individually, I have to say it, we've been waiting a long time for the Turkish scene to have that team to really look good together.
Sure.
You've seen glimmers of it. We've seen the Turkish Jets come through. Early VALORANT lifetime. We love to see what they brought out. Maybe this is the best look we've seen for them so far, but it's still early days. But a little bit of a pace change this time.
Pretty fast push up here into B. This time, Killjoy Util fully dumped over towards C, just given that RQ have been widely swinging over towards that side of the map. Not getting too much of anything out here. Just a couple taps through that smoke. Mr. Fallen just praying for a stray headshot again.
And I like the adjustment, though. We do see the Killjoy utility now invested towards the C site. Kiwi's starting to get a little bit more confident as well, exploring the map, seeing the value of this, and these individual fights just not favorable towards RRQ. They're not making any benefits on these isolated exploration missions. Now slowly building towards A, it's just going nowhere. A crumbly round this time, unfortunately. Not making any of those rifles find footing. So now sadly for Flipside, what are you meant to do with this? You've already got one player sat super deep towards the back of A. That's going to be Kiwi. Posted up with that operator, and it's done. This is lovely work from Footballist. I like these adjustments. I like these mid-round changes they're coming up with. This looks really solid.
Unfortunately for the side of RRQ, they have that double push getting ready to try to go and breach into B, but it just isn't really accompanied by much. You don't have that leer to try to lead them through, and then from there it's just swing after swing, pick after pick for the side of Footballist.
And that's dreamy stuff for a player like Kiwi. You give him these individual fights one by one.
Sure.
He's being hyper-mobile on the map too, which is great. I guess it works kind of nicely with the Neon, just swiftly getting through towards the sites, but really well implemented so far, quite safe with how he's playing it. But again, this time we've seen the money start to really crumble for RRQ. Prior times, we saw them kind of lean towards that early C contact and then kind of hit towards B as well. We see them being quite fluid with this, not afraid to get a little aggressive. So this could be a little bit maybe of a chance here for them, but I'm worried at 6-1, it does start feeling a bit one-sided.
It definitely does. You can see them just, again, applying some pressure over here towards C Mound. They grab the orbital with Flipside, just trying to get another Rolling Thunder up during this half. Everybody shifts over, starts walking over towards B. Stingers, the Sheriff in hand. An overdrive at the ready for EJ. Being able to get a Thrifty, I think, would be such a big momentum swing for them. If they could pull it off here, that's going to really put some wind in their sails. Give them some confidence.
Really nice burst towards the site. They are, oh no way, the setup again. They just aren't getting this pin down. This time Moj does find them, takes away that front line, but they are vicious about this. It's a 3v2, it's not over yet. And Elvimore is desperately fighting this out.
He's got the near ult depth, but now he's going to be taken down, and just before they can get the location reveal, Kiwi comes in to finish the job. I mean, a fantastic attempt at a Thrifty, even with EJ dying right off the rip to those nanoswarms. Elvimore says, get in the backpack, I'm carrying. 3 fantastic shots from him, but unfortunately, it is a double ult commitment there at the same time here for RQ.
And this is one of those frustrating rounds too, because you feel like, oh, we're just on that verge, so close by, forcing a fair amount of utility out of Footballist, forcing them to invest that ult from Kiwi, trying to playing safety net on it because it started to get out of hand there. But again, it falls short. It's still just slipping away from them. They do have a buyback in, and we see the madness once again over towards A.
But it's Kiwi who finds that first kill. Typical able to trade one back. Paranoia going to go crashing across. As he swings wider out behind Rubble. Yeah, he will fight out of Cupton, but no. Elvimore taken down, trying to get that slow creep into B. Again, the veterans remaining, but the veterans continue to deliver.
Tabottle is so clean as well. Loving the work in this round. Cracks back to the wall.
Do they read this?
But the flank's coming in. It feels inevitable. Mr. Farland is on the way. And RRQ have paused for thought here.
The wall's still blocking, but it's getting ready to disengage. Jump up over the top, finds one. Templeton now needs to ace if they want to get a second round on the board. He's got the spike. He's TPing across, gets himself into C.
Yeah, playing it safe, playing it smart. It buys him time. Now, obviously, he doesn't 100% know where Cracks may be, but he's got a good read, it feels. How does he position in this? He has a little bit of freedom to play with, but that is now gone. He's heard him.
Taking the door. Templeton, does he actually aggro swing this? It looks like he's thinking about it. He's considering it. Knife goes out. He's happy to get hit by it, and as he goes for the fight, it's Cracks who comes away with the win.
Heartbreak for Templeton to be that close, that close. But you gotta say, try and take a 1v1 duel against Turkish players in clutches. You're brave, I'll give you that. And sadly, again, so close. How many of these rounds are down to one player now alive, getting on the site, getting the plants they need, the brawls they need, and it just slips away.
They're right on the cusp of being able to rack up a couple extra rounds. I mean, heroic moves there from Tebatol. Just need a little bit more from the rest of the team. And you do have to keep in mind that these are 3 very unknown players on the global stage here in Elvimore, and as well as EJ. They don't have that much experience, and they're very reliant on the guidance of Flipside and Tebatol to get themselves, mentally prepared for a tournament of this caliber.
And this is probably one of the most prepared games I've seen from Footballist, it feels like, or the most adjusted. I'm seeing great things from them already. This is wonderful news. Fallen though, on an island still. Oh my god, the value of this man! The utility work is divine, the support systems are there, and RRQ are in tatters.
Fortunately, it's just a little bit late, that swing off the Lear. They don't get themselves in there, they don't get that punish, and they allow for Mr. Fallen to be able to stabilize and find those 2 crazy kills. Push out, and Elmi Moore just, again, trying to get himself into a position where he can get the jump on somebody, but Kiwi just continues to have the right read, continues to hold the right angles. And now it's just Tebetol with a judge. Grab an orb, eat the knife, see what he can do.
Oh, temptation, just a few steps away, but that step may as well have been miles at that point. Krax shuts it down, and sadly for RRQ, close but no cigar. All of these times we're seeing it 9-1 now. The scoreline is just drastically in favor of Footballist. But this is the one thing I will say. Seeing the veto, when I saw Ascent being banned, I thought, what the hell is Footballist doing? If you know any Turkish Valorant, that was their mainstay, their stronghold, one of their best maps to lean towards ever. Always good, always competitive. If they've been back in the lab and reworking map pools, reworking everything, we could see a resurgence here for Footballist. Again, hard to take context. This is still that round 1 game, essentially, in the Omega bracket. But as it stands, they've come out swinging.
It's looking really clean. Granted, again, maybe sometimes you just need to have that slow start. It's unfortunate for RRQ that it is here on their map pick, but we saw what Global was able to do, bouncing back into that series after getting trounced on the first map. So they're certainly not out of this set yet.
No.
But they need this timeout to do wonders for them. They need to get these last 2 rounds on the board for themselves, because this is the second time out as well, Lauren. They're throwing it down, trying to see if they can make something happen. And then that's kind of just the coach casting the players out to see in the second half, saying, well, unless footballs have to call something, I won't be talking to you again until after this map.
Yeah, and I think for Footballists, they are living large, right? They have everything favorable to them. The ults are sitting pretty. You got 3 to play with here. Yes, missing out on the res and I guess the Neon ult, but again, the money's flush. They're not particularly dependent on anything. They couldn't have asked for a better debut here. I think maybe correcting some opinions or predisposed notions towards Footballists, but for RRQ, it's a little bit of a stun coming through, leaving them a little bit in trouble here. Now you're starting to see Footballists getting a little bit more aggressive, exploring the map a bit more, seeing Fallen set into motion here. Nice little flash over towards C, but it's cleared. They know now exactly what's coming. They should be able to sit accordingly towards this. It's a different look for sure, but again, we haven't seen them make progress this far. Okay, that's not bad. This should be a competitive round.
Yeah, this time footballers don't have that heavy stack defensive setup over towards A, so RRQ are able to get themselves up to the door with relative ease. A little bit of tap damage as well. Did force the heal out of Captain. So now it's going to be the Rolling Thunder perhaps out onto the side. Looks like they decide to hold this one. The fault line, however, still manages to clip him.
How's he alive? He's got everything. If he gets a kill, I'm done. Okay. The man is oh my god, the TP and the body spray as well to boot. The lockdown's still into play. They have to evacuate and make it quick.
But they can just cut over straight into B. EJ finding the kill as well onto Krax. And now the spike will just be ushered in. Kiwi able to find one more. But he might also think that he's safe from behind, and that could be a potential lurk in from Tebetol to get in around the backside.
First time with huge favorable numbers. They're sat in this post plant. That operator tricky to bring into these right positions. Wait and see if Moj can find some success maybe, but again, they're not being given anything. RRQ are going to hold on to this with both hands, desperately trying to at least claw a second round on the board. Moj clearing as best he can, but you noted it. Even the back line there in case that fight went wrong. Tebottle was ready for the swing. And now the final player for Kiwi. I mean, money is flush, but why would you give it away for free?
Yeah, definitely don't want to do that. So we'll just go ahead and hold on to this one. Still the creep around here from Elmore. And he's got him.
Really nice.
So if nothing else, well, you might not be able to do too much denting to the economy here this side of football, especially given that it's the last round. You can also get that one extra charge over towards the neural depth, which is just 2 away. Right now, it's looking like that's going to be maybe one of the more useful ultimates that they can possibly get in this final round and a half. Frustration being taken out there by Tebetol, spraying down against Mr. Fallen. Look now to see just how they're going to be able to make this a 9-3 and then believe in some curses. Dagger off the top, only catches one. Sniper cage up. More just slow lurking. They're going to start rotating slightly off A into stairs. Still 3 nearby, however. Didn't quite catch if that connector door has been destroyed yet. It has not.
A little bit of a pace change, though. RRQ slowing things down this time. We haven't seen Fublis particularly put off by this, though. They have pulled the rotation from Kiwi, so he is present on the A side, so this could be really quite good towards C as it stands. But again, this is no discredit to Moj's utility. That has been divine. He's been doing serious damage, offsetting the timing, isolating fights really well, and buying time for rotations, because right now he is a mile away from anyone else. As it stands, RRQ should have the go-ahead, aside from this utility now.
Does slow them up, fault line.
Oh, the paranoia!
Does connect. He pulls back to the back of sight. He's going to try to get out of there. Looks like he will be able to do so. We should just have this 5v5 for the attempted retake now, assuming that they can get the spike down. It's good damage out on the cracks to begin. 7 HP, Mr. Fallen going to be picked off, and here goes Tepetol on a nice little lurk around the back. Does get spotted by an alarm bot.
Yeah, still a little bit of fight in them yet, though. Moj, Kiwi in combination. It's a 2v2, 15 seconds. And where's the spike going?
Sprinting it over towards B. They just run it down. Tepetol again wants to get himself in a spot where he can potentially catch some people off guard. Heard the slide. Kiwi should not be ready for this, but he is. The swap to the Phantom, absolutely crucial.
And now the 1v2. So much pressure. Give them that gateway, that slither of hope. The first, but the ult in the back. Kiwi keeps Footballers heading for success. 10 rounds to be etched on the board.
And that's a brutal one. A brutal hand to be dealt here for RRQ. Coming out in your international debut with his new team on your map pick of Lotus. We only have the hope from here that they have some great defensive protocols and strategies set up. But this was definitely not what they were looking for. So close, this very easily could have been a 6-6, a 7-5. Just getting it right to the knife's edge, but unfortunately haven't been able to close them out.
Football is certainly turning heads here at 10-2, but there's certainly more to come.
Kiwi at the end of that game said, "Unlimited power." That's right. That's a Star Wars reference.
No more references.
You stop it. Okay, Balla. I have to be very real. Coming into this game, I wasn't sure what to expect from Footballers, but what I'm seeing is fundamentals. What I'm seeing is solid, and I'm liking what FUT Esports is bringing to the table.
I think there was a number of really good examples of how they're approaching multiple holds on that first half, especially the aim control that they were throwing out. They started off immediately going for it on the pistol. They continued it on the bonus. I wanted to show the bonus here because they go for this control, they wall it off, and then Mr. Fallen also throws this great smoke after out of cap 10. Barely survives against the players that are still pushing in from RRQ, and he gets smoked off after getting the trade on Kiwi. And this saves him because the door wasn't broken yet, and he was able to escape, and then they were able to convert the post plant after really just releasing the reins on them.
And what I've loved about this team thus far on their defensive side was that they had those setups where they were going for the A main gambit, but they also switched it up with Kiwi opping, holding that space instead. It felt like the defensive setup was quite variable, and I think that this Neon pick was a big part of it. Sometimes Kiwi would send the off over to one of his teammates, he'd be part of one of the setups like the one you were talking about. Sometimes he'd be holding towards long. As well as that, he was able to really, really quickly pivot in the mid rounds, be somewhere new with his operator to find continual value, even when RRQ made a mid-round change. And now going into the second half, it feels like, for the side of RRQ, they're going to struggle to shut this guy down, because he is having an incredible performance thus far.
Yeah, and I think it touches to something that Lauren said on the cast, right? This feels like the most prepared I've seen a Turkish team come into this, and I think that's the reason why Kiwi's having such success.
Yeah, this is exactly what you'd want to see, especially for the people that are back home watching this FUT Esports team take it to RRQ. But RRQ need to find something, and they need to do it now, or else this could get real bad real quickly. Let's send it back over to Achilleos as well as Pansy.
Yeah, we certainly can't underestimate RRQ's power at this point in case they do come back. Maybe there's a flip or a switch they can flip, right? Something. Give me a little hope here, because again, this was their map choice, so pulling that into context, Getting 2 rounds here, it's not the best look so far, so confidence is going to be pretty low at this point. I need them to bounce back. The pistol could be the first step on that.
Yeah, and obviously fans of a team, you're going to want to see them absolutely dominate.
Give them a
Us as
try,
casters-
man.
Us as casters, we want to see a close series.
Yeah.
That's what we want. The more rounds, the better. So I'm hoping that RRQ can step back into this one. Already some early pressure applied over towards C. Ellie Moore getting tagged up just a little bit. They don't have that Sage to go ahead and heal him up. They've done that. They're going to swing over. It's just Emin right now in the B site. He's been noted over towards that connector door.
Ooh, good trade though. Spike now down. Let's look at the retake potential. Lots of pressure coming through that A connector. Cracks up for the challenge on 1, but didn't expect the second to trade so effectively. EJ is still alive. Let's look at the timing here. Perfect work! The flash came through on the other side, but he still made the most of it.
Yeah, not going to be a full flash by any means, but it's just enough to get the job done. As EJ just wreaks havoc now with this frenzy, but Mr. Fallen's got one of his own. He's got 2 low HP players
Oh my
to deal
God.
with, and he deals with
No!
them so perfectly! A 3K to close it out! And it felt like RRQ had this pistol round in their hands. Mr. Fallen just snatches it away.
Football has just given them hope to take it away. RRQ, that's going to be gutting. That could have been the gateway, the stepping stone, the first rung on the ladder, and it get crushed by one man and his frenzy. And football is, yeah, that's the, yeah, okay. This is crushing now for RRQ. I think this one maybe focus on what you can achieve here, but that next map has to be good, because that Red Bull clutch was nasty.
So now RQ though, going in with the stingers. We know they need to turn the tides right here and not allow this to go to map point, but Kiwi just has been absolutely on fire.
And what a treat for Kiwi to play in a team that's currently got structure. To be able to kind of depend on your teammates to find that. Speaking of finding it, man, what a shot. Okay, you need a couple more of those and I'm back on board. Give me a little more, give me something to talk about here. Because footballists do have the 4 players for the most part still. A little bit of utility to invest in. Kiwi not allowing any more nonsense to come in.
I don't think he was expecting that re-aggression swing there from Kiwi. Now the fragment goes down, just further buying time. All the re-aggressing members of RRQ going to be coming from that defending spawn side. Pushing out of Hall, holding here. Fallen finds one, Tebbletall taken low, finished off as well. 12 and 2. One more to go, Footballist. Look at his speed run on Lotus.
Again, my expectations have been thoroughly shifted. I thought this would be a close game, and when I wrote down my little notes coming into this, I was looking for being able to close out a game cleanly for either of these sides. That's a really good indicator for me that if you do have the advantage, you're able to run it. You don't lose momentum. You don't lose your anti-ecos. You always put pressure in your ecos, or the trading, the spacing is good. All of the stuff that we kind of harp on about. It has been just poetry and motion from Footballist here, and RRQ have been shut out. The final go of things, if Footballist are able to convert now, the pressure is mounted, and they are looking towards that B side, but look at the wrap coming through as well. RRQ not going down without a fight.
It's an explosive round from them. The blink of an eye, Mr. Fallen's the last one standing, and he can't even get that singular kill. One more pump from that judge would have had it. This is a major turn up here from the side of RRQ. And that fault line from Flip Cheddar was everything. The KO knife, that 0 point, was just about to connect over the top of the B site. He throws out the fault line, it intercepts everybody, and then from there, RRQ just worked them to pieces.
It felt hyper aggressive from Footballist though, but RRQ were up for the challenge. Slowed the roll, denied that pace coming in. Perfect. Able to fashion together, to cobble together a buy here. Guardian, Bulldog, sure, but it's something. Ult online for EJ as well. Any chance of utilizing this? I want to see if he gets aggressive potentially, but once again, we're not seeing those early tests towards A. Just investing old Tommy the turret over there and respecting those early smokes that are coming through. There's the ult.
There's the fast lane as well as the cyber cage. A couple taps on that one. He's playing up close, slides in
he's
behind him. They've missed each other like ships in the night. They know he's at waterfall. They're trying to get him. He gets the think across, and Emin has the finishing shot.
Perfect, but all this meantime, it's looking towards B. Now they know it for sure. The utilities there, that late lurk could come into effect though, but being met in kind by Tebbletall, who's read this very well, the timing, gets it perfect, sidesteps, notes it. Now they know there's only going to be 3 towards the site at most. What can they do about it?
EJ trying to apply pressure. Two people just around the corner.
Stun.
They get the stun, and Tebbletall's the one who finds the kills. The Bulldog mows him down, but Mr. Fallen again finding some nice shots and gets the headshot just as the smoke blooms. 3 for him, and in position to potentially have an ace.
Where's Moj? Where is Moj?
He's lobbing
Oh
nanoswarms
my
in. He's got
God.
lineups for days.
Oh, no. This is insane. I thought Moj had lagged down or something. He's a mile away over towards A, and Fallen is putting up numbers. Unbelievable round to close it down on.
Now there's something we haven't seen on Lotus quite just yet. Maj
Ooh.
playing back, getting those nanoswarms perfectly placed on top of the spike, forcing them off. They can't even get it to half.
But you think if that went any other way, considering Tebatol was holding that for so long?
Yeah.
If Moj wasn't that patient, had that patience, would never have the chance to do this. I am mind blown by Footballists right now.
You can see why he wanted to get in that position so damn badly. And once he did, that is the turning point in the round. That is the rug being pulled out from under RRQ. A fantastic start here for Footballists. But is this just the warm-up for RRQ? They've now had their first taste of the stage. Can they rebound? That is the question.
I can't stop smiling though. Footballists looking like they've turned a page here. A whole new chapter could be written.
Great look.
RRQ need to get this going.